This is the 2026 Infiniti QX80 Sport. Is it the perfect trim level for you? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. We borrowed this QX80 from our friends at Infiniti in Shreveport, Louisiana. If you want to know more, check out the link down in the description of the video. The Sport trim level is new as far as trim levels go for 2026. And as we look here at the front end, the distinction you'll see in this area is going to be this gloss black spoiler on the lower portion of this area. Everything else will basically remain the same here, but it gives that little bit more of a sporty flair. We'll still have our nice bamboo style grille with that 3D Infiniti logo. We're going to have the LED daytime running lights, LED turn signal indicators. You will also have LED low and high beams for your headlights. And talk about a monstrous active air curtain right here. You can definitely, I could almost put my face in there. Well, maybe not. I couldn't put my whole head in there or anything, but it is big. All-wheel drive, and something that is going to definitely be very distinctive of the Sport trim level will be these unique to the Sport trim level 22-inch wheels. They're going to come with a gloss black finish, but I really like that. It just looks nice. It looks aggressive. It looks nice even when it's just sitting still. Doesn't have to be in motion to look impressive. Turn signal indicators built into the side view mirrors. They're heated, they're power folding and power adjustable. Have blind spot monitoring built in. Push the button right there and show you the power folding functionality that's going to go on where that is concerned. Something else that is available on the Sport trim level, it's not standard, but you can option it in. That's going to be your black roof up here. If that's something you don't like, if you want to order one, you can leave that out or option it in. Roof rails up top, they already have the crossbars up there. I like that's going to give you that extra cargo space as if there isn't already enough here. We will have the air ride suspension. You can raise and lower the height of the vehicle. That's going to be helpful. And you will have your assist steps right here. They're not power, but they're built in. They look nice. Gives it a little bit more of a lower profile stance compared to what it would have otherwise. Nice large windows. That means it's going to be very easy to see out of, like some of the accents as far as the finishes on some of our trim we have here. And then we work our way back here to, again, LED lighting. I like that the tail light goes all the way across. It doesn't stop. That's always something that I think is really nice on these vehicles. You may not see a rear window wiper here, but it's here. It's just concealed away inside of the rear roof spoiler. This model is going to be all-wheel drive, and we're going to have the absence of exposed exhaust back here. Now you can see the exhaust pipes if you get down here low enough, but instead of having them come out here in the bumper area, they're tucked away neatly underneath there. How important is that to you as a potential owner? Is that something you like, something you don't like? Here is your remote lock, unlock, remote start. You're gonna have all those great features here. You can open and close your power tailgate, and you have your panic button, and you also have this release right here. So what exactly is that? When I pull on that, I can take out this key right here. If the battery in the remote dies, or even with the vehicle, you still have a lock right here you can use. You can insert the key in there and lock and unlock the vehicle. One more thing to note here are the deployable door handles. If you have the remote on your person and you walk up, well, guess what? They're going to automatically come out just like that. So you can see how that works. It's not only a little bit of a cool factor, but that's really meant to help with aerodynamics. Under the hood is the twin-turbo 3.5-liter V6, and you might say, V6? That can't be very impressive. Well, it makes 450 horsepower, 516 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 is in a little over 6 seconds. The top speed is a governed 123 miles per hour. And how about your MPGs? 16 city, 19 highway, and 17 combined. And I gave you the MPGs. How about the gas tank details? We're looking at 23.6 gallons in capacity, and your driving distance on a single tank of gas in the city, 378 miles. On the highway, that jumps to 441 miles and 401 miles combined. Now keep in mind, this will be the same thing with your potential driving distance on a single tank of gas and your MPGs from the window sticker that I shared earlier. Those are potentials. It doesn't mean you're guaranteed those numbers. You could be above, And depending on how you drive and where you drive, a lot of variables, it could be a little below. When it comes to practical use, this is not only great for hauling the family around, but you can tow up to 8,500 pounds. Now, there are several ways to open your power tailgate. In fact, if you come right in here, we're going to show you with the camera. If you're looking for the button to open the tailgate, there it is right there. Now, you can use the button on the remote. There's a button in the driver's area, or you can just kick your foot right underneath right there. It is a hands-free tailgate. And depending on how you set things up back there, here are your cargo figures. We're looking at 22 cubic feet behind the third row, and then 56.3 up to 59 cubic feet as far as lowering down that second row. And then if you lower down all of the rows, you're looking at about 101 cubic feet. Now, we do have a spare tire that's located underneath the rear of the vehicle. It's an 18-inch spare. It is meant to be a temporary. And here is a little bit of additional cargo space if you need to take advantage of that. And over here on this side, we're going to have the buttons right here for raising and lowering the rear on the air suspension, depending on what you need to do with that. And something that I really like here, if you were going to buy, say, a Cadillac Escalade, for example, this is something the Escalade won't do. You'll notice that my hands are not on anything. I'm not touching anything. This is, you touch the buttons, you just push them one time and everything goes straight down. You have to hold the buttons down with the Escalade to lower the seats and bring them back up. Being that that is a main competitor, that's something you might want to take into consideration. It saves a little bit of time, and that's just one of those interesting things that you have here. Now, we also have a panoramic sunroof. We'll give you a quick look at that from this vantage point. There is a power shade that can be drawn forward to reduce the heat coming in during the summertime, and you can also open and close that front portion. And one more thing to tell you about here in the rear cargo area will be your 120 volt power outlet right there. So if you need to power something, that is there. Also, you're going to have your tie downs not only in this area, but also right here on the floor. Let's talk about what our second and third row passengers are going to find. We're going to start with our door panel over here. You're going to find plentiful space with the armrest. Going to have the speakers right here. Got quite a few speakers throughout the interior. And then our door bin that's going to have the bottle holder and a little bit of space behind that. And as we work our way in, I always like having the grab handle to get in and out. It just makes it a little bit easier, provides a little bit of stability. And with our seats, these are going to be power adjustable seats. The buttons to control that are on the side right down here, so you can adjust the position forward and backward. You can also change the recline that is in these seats too. It goes back a little bit. And we're going to have the built-in armrest. Now, one thing to note here is that right up here is where you're going to find the button to bring this seat forward to gain access to and from the third row. I'm going to do something here. I'm going to show this to you in real time just so that you can see how this happens. I'm going to hold that button down for just a second. It takes a little bit, but it's not too bad. And you have a nice wide opening that makes it super easy to hop on back. All right, let's see how it goes in the third row. Now, I don't have a ton of headspace, but it works. There are some little tricks for that, including doing this. We can recline the seats. So now there's a little bit more headspace above my head. But that button is right here. It's going to be on both sides. We'll also have over here in this area the USB port right there. You can just raise that little cover, and then a couple of cup holders. That's going to be the same on both sides. Depending on where the seats are set, there's actually a decent amount of leg space back here. I don't feel cramped. I think I could ride back here for a while and be okay. The third row, oh crap handles, something you don't see in very many vehicles, but they are here. Typically, they're only in the first two. A three row, typically they don't have that. Air conditioning vents perfectly placed, in my personal opinion, up there where it's really close to the passenger's face. So whether it's heat or cool air that's coming out of there, it's going to get to your passengers nice and fast. One thing that is interesting here is while you could use the pass-through to get out if you wanted to, you actually have the center console right here for your middle passengers with two USB ports and a couple of cup holders in addition to a little bit of space back there. Let's talk about what your second row passengers are going to find. Obviously, there's going to be more space here, and depending on if there is anybody back there, you can actually bring the seat all the way back. As you can see, I'll bring that forward a little bit more. Plenty of headroom. We're going to have the nice panoramic sunroof here, give you a good view of that from this particular vantage point. And then we're going to have our rear seat pockets on the back of the driver and passenger seats, and our command center. For the third zone of climate control, you have dual in the front and single in the rear. You're going to have fan speed right here. You have heated seats, 3 stages, and ventilated seats, 3 stages for your middle row passengers. You can adjust the airflow position. You can also adjust whether it's on auto or not. All of that's pretty easy to deal with. And as far as connectivity goes, a couple of USB ports, and there is also going to be a 12 volt. The sticker price on this QX80 Sport is $108,885 as its option. And I'm going to show you the animated graphics and let you listen as I bring everything to life up here. Here we go. Okay, we're going to talk about what's going on over there on the passenger side. You're going to have the glove box down there. A little bit of space in there. Let's see if I can reach that. Typical size for a glove box for a full-size SUV. There's also going to be a pass-through right down here. You can see that space is rather plentiful down there. And as we work our way over to the door panel over there on the passenger side, something that I have to say I really like is the fact that you have seat memory. So it's going to be on both sides, driver and passenger, large armrests and large door bin. Now, we'll grab the camera here real quick. In fact, before we do that, let me show you the upper console here, and then we'll grab the camera, but we're going to have our control right here for our power shade, and then for the power sunroof to open and close the glass. And this is your home link. So you have 1, 2, 3 buttons for your garage door openers if you want to program that. And we'll also have our lights up here and then the sunglass holder. The digital rear view mirror is here. If you want to take advantage of that, you can, or you can use it as a conventional rear view mirror. Just depends on what you might want to do. And then you have all sorts of different things you can go through here as far as your different options, things you can customize depending on what you want to do to adjust that with your menu. Now we'll grab the camera and come over here to the driver's side. Again, seat memory, all of our controls for our side view mirrors right here. You can choose which mirror you are adjusting. You can fold the mirrors in. That's the button I pushed earlier to do that. By the way, that does happen when you lock and unlock the vehicle, and then everything for your locking your windows and rolling the windows down and back up. And you'll see some of your other features that we're going to have here. Your power parking brake is located right down here for those who want to know. And this control is what allows you to adjust the tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. And depending on what you want to do as far as the driver's display goes, there are different options here. And so what I'm doing is just using the scroll wheel right here. Now, if it's not working, make sure that this area isn't illuminated in orange, because that allows you to control the center screen. So you have to make sure that is on. Just to see that, we can go back right here if we need to. You have voice commands, all that good stuff is there. You have your adaptive cruise control, and also your shifter paddles on the back of the steering wheel to work your way back and forth through the 9-speed automatic transmission. Front and rear window wipers controlled right here, and then everything will be over here for your headlights. You can leave that on auto if you want to for your headlights and taillights, and your turn signal indicators are controlled there too. Some of you know how to use that and some of you don't, but there it is. Now, the center screen is actually pretty easy to deal with. Not a lot here. You can see you have your built-in navigation. You've got your apps right here. So if you want to see those, this is where you come, and you have Google Assistant. You can see what all is here as far as all of that goes. A very nice setup for sure. Pretty easy to deal with. And here are our camera views. So you're going to have a bunch of those. The overhead view, we're going to have our front view. And then we have the front view in that respect. We can come back here with the front view one more time. Keep going through these and show you what's going on. There you go with the hoodless view. You want to have that, and then we can actually come right here and see several different views from basically every single angle possible. Just depends on what you want to see. Now, yes, there is a rear view camera, so when I go into reverse, there is the rear view camera, and obviously you can come in here and do basically the same thing that we did before. If you need to zoom in, you can, just so you can see what's going on where that is concerned. Now, I am going to come back out of that, and we'll go home right here. You do have your wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto for pairing your smartphone, and then we have all of our options right here. There's quite a few with all of the different icons and everything you can use. There's Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. You can see what's going on where everything is concerned. If you're in demo mode and you need to get out of it, there's where you're going to do that. Now, that's not the only screen we have to work with here. We also have the lower screen right here for your air conditioning. The one thing about that is nice is that you can use Google Assistant with voice commands to adjust that. I'm not going to demo it because it will probably change the air in your house. A lot of you I know have Google Assistant at home too, but you can say, hey, you know who, and adjust that. In fact, I can demo it this way. Adjust the temperature to 65 degrees.
Sure, changing the temperature to 65 degrees.
That surely didn't mess up anything in your houses, but there's where that is concerned. And since we had it in the rear, obviously you're going to have your ventilated seats here in the front and your heated seats in the front too. So if you need that, that's where you go to make that all happen. You can turn on your front and rear window defoggers, all that good stuff. You can also adjust the air in the rear seat area that we looked at earlier from this screen. Now, one thing that I am curious to know is what we have right down here. What are your thoughts on the shifter? Some people may like it, some people may not. I'm always curious to know. With your push button shifter, go into reverse, go into neutral, and then go into drive. Once you're used to it, maybe it's not a big deal. I would be curious to hear from some of you who have a QX80, the 25 or the 26. What do you think about it? Now, we can come right here and raise and lower the height of the vehicle. So if I want to raise it, we can just hold down this top area. And I know you can't tell that the vehicle is going up on the air suspension, but we can here. And then you can do the same thing to bring it down as well. And there's the button I hit earlier to bring the cameras up. Now, one thing that's interesting here with the center console, I do kind of wonder about this. Maybe once you're used to it, it's not a big deal, but I keep finding myself wanting to put my arm down there on the armrest, and I accidentally open the lid for the wireless charging pad. I guess once you get used to that, maybe it's not a big deal, but there is your wireless charging pad, and a couple of USB ports are going to be there too. And let me try something, because I know in some vehicles with the wireless charging pad, depending on how it holds your phone, it can lose connectivity and it's not charging all of a sudden. I know my GMC 2500 does that, but the way this is designed, that's gonna be pretty hard to do. So that is a good thing. That's a thumbs up. Cup holders will be right here, and then we'll close that back down, and here is our center console. Take this out of here so you can see what's in there. Quite a bit of space. There's also a light to help illuminate that after dark. All right, here we go on our test drive with the QX80. And a couple of things to mention that I didn't mention earlier in the video. You have a nice bright head-up display here, so that is something that's going to be beneficial for those that want to take advantage of it. And you might have noticed that blue sticker up there. Guess what? $7,000 off. So if you come into Infiniti, you have that option to take advantage of that on this particular model. You may have seen that earlier in the video, but I wanted to make sure I mentioned it. A very enjoyable SUV to drive. It's going to get the job done in multiple ways, not only with hauling the family around, cargo, but towing. It's capable of doing some great towing as well. And the technology here is not difficult to learn and use, at least not in my opinion, once you work your way around and get to everything that you need to as far as the different menus and everything goes, but it's really not too bad. Easy to see out of, but you have your safety features such as your blind spot monitoring and lane departure and lane keeping assist. All of those are going to be here, and you have the digital rear view mirror to help you out too. The driver's seat here in the front is comfortable. It is fully adjustable. Something else I didn't mention earlier in the video, obviously they're going to be power adjustable just like the rear seats, but you also have lumbar support for the driver and the passenger. That's going to make things even better for those that want to take advantage of such a thing. Overall, a very enjoyable vehicle to drive with great acceleration, a comfortable ride quality. When you need to get up and go, you might not expect a large SUV like this to get up and go the way that it does, but it may surprise you, and it may surprise your passengers, especially those in the third row who may need to take advantage of that oh crap handle. And there it is, the 2026 Infiniti QX80 Sport. Is it the perfect trim level for you? Well, tell me down in the comments section. I'm always curious to receive your feedback. I would like to say a special thanks to my friends at Infiniti for loaning us this QX80 for the day so we could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give us the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That is very helpful. Make sure to subscribe and please share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. If you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now and we'll see you there.